Alright, so this video we'll be talking about methods or functions. Methods or functions are blocks or sections of code, usually named, that can be executed over and over again. They're great for reducing duplication of code, improving readability, and reducing the complexity. Dividing up larger chunks of code makes it easier to manage. So, how do we create a method? Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to make one and then explain it afterwards. That in the bottom. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and ignore public and static for now, but we will look at void and the rest of it. So this right here is the return type. So methods can return things back to you, like a string or an int, but in this case, we're only printing some text, so we don't need it to return anything. This is the name of the function, so we'll use this to call in this function. And then this is the code that the function will run. So in the main function, we'll say, say we want to say hello world like 5 times. Let's go ahead and use a for loop that was introduced in the last video. 0 is less than 5. So this will iterate 5 times. And we just want to print hello world. So hello world. This is how you would call a function. You just call a function, name, and then parentheses. And if there's any sort of input, we would put it here. So like if we need like an int or something, we put like this, and then in this we would have to put like 5, because 5 is an int. But this is void, and all it does is print out hello world, so we do not need an input. Alright, so if we run this, it'll print hello world 5 times. There it is. So, parameters, let's go ahead and use a parameter. So parameter is what you would put in the parentheses. That's why they're called parameters. Let's say we just want to call a function, and we want the function to handle how many times it prints. Let's say we want to do hello world 5 times. We would do okay, so instead of having the for loop here, we could have it here instead. And we could do for int, let's change this to a different one. Int num. No, int run times. Okay, so let's do int I equals 0. I is less than run times I plus plus, and then print line hello world. That is an O, not a 0. Okay, so this will iterate runtimes times. So since we're putting in 5 as a runtime, or as the variable runtime, this is a bad variable name. Let's just call it num. It's hard to say. Okay, so this for loop will iterate num times. And in the main function, when we call it, we give it how many times we want it to run. So then here, it'll print it 5 times. Let's go ahead and there it is. So then if we wanted to instead print out 7 times or 10 times, we can do this, run it, and it'll print it out 10 times. So this makes it much easier when you're actually looking at what the program runs. This is the only thing in your main function, which makes it like easier to read, because all you see is hello world is being called and the number 10. So you can, it's easy to assume that what the function does is print out hello world 10 times. You have to see this whole thing in here. Alright, let's talk a little bit more about return values. So, like I mentioned before, methods can optionally return something back to you. In Java, void makes it return nothing, but you can set it to a type that makes it return that type. So, let's take a look at getting the area of a triangle. So, public static int. We want the area of the triangle to be an int, so it'll return an int to us. Get area of, actually let's do square because it's a little bit simpler. Get area of square inside. So for the input parameters, we just need the length of a side to calculate. So we're gonna return side times side because area of a square is just the side squared. You could write it this way, or you could write it like this. Int area equals side times side, and then return the area. Okay, so in the main function, we'll go ahead and say system.out.current line area of a square with side length of 5 is, and then we can call this function here get area of square, and we give it 5 as the length of the side. And we can do, let's go ahead and just copy and paste this one. Side 10, and we would give it parameter 10 instead of 5. And that returns 5 times 5 is 25, and 10 times 10 is 100. Alright, so that's kind of how methods work, or functions. And that'll be it for this video. Next video, we'll talk about arrays, getting a little bit more complicated here.